A big fight on the UFC 296 main card next weekend will be between Vicente Luque and Ian Garry. Vicente Luque, who's looking to hold a spot in the rankings against a surging contender, and Ian Garry, who's coming off a very good performance against Neil Magny, who did come in on short notice. However, Vicente Luque also looked super impressive in his Fight Night main event against RDA. He kind of had a complete win there, but Ian Garry has been looking extremely impressive, especially recently. Starting out in the UFC, he looked really raw, but however, he's starting to really put things together. Neil Magny kind of destroyed. He was on short notice, but he like completely tore up that leg, and Neil Magny had no chance. Even D-Rod got the early KO there. Kenan Song, he had a little bit of resistance early on in the fight, but after had pretty much a perfect performance and pretty much put on a masterclass against Kenan Song. So a super interesting matchup. Former teammates. I don't know how it went in the gym. I guess is probably Ian Garry probably got a little bit of the best of Vicente Luque just based on how their fighting styles are. But this matchup is going to be very interesting because of a lot of stuff that has been going on with Ian Garry recently. I don't think he's been training at a gym. I'm not sure exactly what his status is or where he's training at. I know he got I know he got kicked out of his gym in Ireland a long time ago when he was at like Cage Warriors. I don't think he got kicked out of Kill Cliff. However, I think they're focusing on Vicente Luque. A lot of the guys like Vicente. He's been at the camp for a very long time, so I think he's training with them. So Ian decided to move out of there. Ian went to train with Leon Edwards, got kicked out of there. He might be training at Shootbox. I don't know. I know he did spend some time over there for a while, I think like a few months ago. So I don't know where Ian Garry's training. I do know there's a lot of drama, like some of the stuff he said to Vicente Luque on his post about like his religious stuff. I believe some of the, I guess I can say on YouTube, I'm about like a minute in, but like some of the cuck stuff that him and his wife, like a lot of the drama there has been going around. Ian Garry's been blocking people, so he's been seeing it. He's been feeling a certain way about it, and I think that has a lot to do with this matchup. And the fact that we do know he's been knocked out about like 3 times now in training that we did not know about. Leon Edwards, I did see a video between him and his wife where she was basically trying to tell people that he got knocked out. Even he kind of said it like I had to go to the hospital or whatever to get my teeth fixed because whatever Leon Edwards landed on Kamaru Usman hit me. So it's pretty much he got knocked out. Brendan Allen kind of said the same thing with Shavkat Rakhmonov. And I believe I have another one as well. He almost got knocked out against Kenan Song. These are, of course, the Brendan Allen. I think a lot of people assumed it was Shavkat. We don't know, but I'm pretty sure that's probably the right guess there. But we know the Leon Edwards one was actually pretty soon, which is kind of worrying. But we know Kenan Song, who landed one good punch, who does have a lot of power in his hands, did drop Ian Garry and almost won the fight. He almost put him out cold. So the chin of Ian Garry is definitely something to worry about in this fight, which is mixing up a lot of things in this fight. Because I thought for sure Ian Garry was going to go out there, look like Wonder Boy, kind of land some really good shots on Wonder Boy. But now I'm kind of concerned for Ian Garry. He has got a lot of drama going on. This is, in my opinion, I think this is probably the biggest fight on the main card. Of course, you got Colby Covington versus Leon Edwards, which is a big fight. You have Paddy Pimblett versus Tony Ferguson, which is a pretty big fight. It's going to be a fun fight. However, I think this fight has the most stakes at it. Ian Garry can literally jump to superstardom, and if he like KOs Vicente Luque, even gets a win, puts on a masterclass, I think he jumps up so high. There's a lot of hate on him right now, and if he digs into that heel character, there's going to be people paying to watch him get KO'd. It's not Bilal Muhammad, where the UFC is going to lose money if he's in a main event or something like that. People legitimately hate Ian Garry to see him get KO'd. It's not like even a Colby hate. I think there's like a lot, like all fans pretty much hate Ian Garry. I dislike him quite a bit, but honestly, I do kind of enjoy the fact that there's a lot of hate going on him, and it's going to be really entertaining to see his fights. However, the matchup with Wonder Boy and Vicente Luque, Wonder Boy was able to maintain some range, land really good shots, land really good jabs, kind of mess up Vicente Luque with the footwork. Ian Garry, although doesn't really sit in the karate stance, he does kind of keep a good range. He uses a lot of kicks, works off his jab. Does have a little bit more head movement than Wonder Boy, which might be a little bit of a worry for Vicente Luque in this matchup. And I do think when they do train, he does get the best of Vicente Luque a little bit, because in the matchups that we do see with Luque, your Wonder Boys, your Jeff Neal, who Jeff Neal did knock out Luque, they're able to hit shots down the middle with a good jab, a lot of good straight shots, and then move around and duck out of the punches of Vicente Luque, and they do have good chins. However, in this matchup, even Vicente Luque was able to land on Jeff Neal. Even Vicente Luque was able to land on Wonder Boy. My worry is, if Vicente Luque lands on Ian Garry, what will happen? We know Vicente Luque has missiles in his hands. We know Ian Garry does not have a good chin. This is why I think this matchup probably has the most stakes. Ian Garry loses this, hype kind of goes down. He probably has to take some time off. Let's be real. If Ian Garry wins, he shoots all the way up. I'm going to go with Vicente Luque. If you asked me this about a week ago, I'd probably stick with Ian Garry, or maybe 2 weeks ago. But I think with all the drama going on, he's blocking people, so it's obviously getting to him, unless it's his wife. Who knows? But it's obviously getting to him. The multitude of stories of him getting KO'd is kind of worrying. I know this is an older Vicente Luque who's taken a lot of damage. He's only 32, but he has taken a lot of damage recently. I don't know if it's like, who do you trust more a little bit here? Because I think Ian Garry can definitely catch Vicente Luque with like a head kick, especially if he uses straight shots and then try to just like circle around to make Vicente Luque kind of guess and then open up with like a head kick, and maybe he hurts Vicente Luque and puts him away in like the first or second round. However, Vicente Luque can land 100% on Ian Garry, kind of walk him down a little bit more, stay a little bit more defensive, keep a high guard, try to move his head a little bit more, because you don't want Ian Garry kind of jabbing and then moving around with leg kick and then jab, do that kind of thing. Maybe he shoots for some takedowns. What I think Luque should probably do is probably shoot for some takedowns. Ian Garry does have some really good takedown defense. However, you can get him in that short distance where he can't use the range, and it's basically just boxing range at that point. Vicente Luque kind of did the same thing against Wonderboy, where he was actually able to hurt him in that first round. But I think that's how Vicente Luque wins this fight. I think he can catch Ian Garry, finish him in the late first round, maybe second round. I'm going to go with Vicente Luque. I don't think it will be a popular pick. I think a lot of people will be taking Luque, maybe in spite of Garry, because they don't like Garry. However, I think a lot of the creators that will be picking this fight will probably go with Ian Garry, just because of how fast he is, how he's able to stay out of trouble, like his head movement after he got hit with Kenan Song, with that, I think it was like a right hook, put on a masterclass. He's actually a really incredible stand-up fighter, but I just think Luque can land a shot on him. I think he can land a couple good shots on Ian Garry and catch him and put him out. So I'm going to go with Vicente Luque by finish. I don't think he puts him out cold, however. I think he does win by TKO. I don't know if this is going to be unpopular or not, but I'm going to go with Vicente Luque. This isn't an emotional pick either. I really don't care what happens with Ian Garry at all. So I am to go with Vicente Luque by finish by TKO in the second round. Let me know what you guys think about this fight down below in the comments, and I'll see you guys next time.